Hello, my friends. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon. This is Luiz Lima, and this is Spiritism, a closer look transmitted via Kardec Radio. It's so great to be here, Kardec Radio, in its 11th year. It's just incredible. What a journey, and what a resource for us Spiritists. Anyway, for comments and suggestions, please participate with us. And for tonight, we have a topic that I call Forgetfulness of the Past. Forgetfulness of the Past. Well, this is based on the Spirit's book, chapter 7, and there's a set of questions about forgetfulness of the past. Forgetfulness of the past. Well, Allan Kardec, in its, I would say, its wisdom, because he is incredibly, I would say, smart in asking the questions. You know, in order to get the good answers, to get the proper answers, you need to ask the proper questions. And he was a pro in doing that. So this is one of the parts where his questions are really, really deep, and the spirits will not back out. They will respond to us. So in question 393, this part, forgetfulness of the past, starts in question 392. In question 393, Allan Kardec is going to ask a long question. So we're going to go in parts. We need to understand the question before we can understand the answer. So here is the question. It's a set of several questions in the same question. How can individuals be responsible for their deeds and redeem their wrongs if they cannot remember them? Smart question, right? Because if I don't remember what I did wrong, how can I redeem? How can I, offset what I did? And he continues, another question follows. And the spirits are going to answer to all of them. So next question follows. How can they profit, these spirits, right? How can these spirits profit from the experience acquired in lives that they have fallen into forgetfulness? Meaning, I had an experience in a past life. It's something that I'm going to have to learn about, but I have forgotten about it. I don't know about it anymore. So how can I benefit from this? Where's the benefit? And then he's going to continue and say, we could understand that life's tribulations might be a lesson for the spirits if they could remember what had caused them in the first place. But since they do not remember them at all, each existence is as if they were the first. And it is thus that they are always having to start over. Interesting, right? If I don't know what I did wrong, if I can't remember, what got me here and all of that, on the following existence, I have to start from scratch. Because I'm not, in theory, that's the question, right? Supposedly, I'm not bringing anything from the past. So I'm starting from the get-go on every life. That's the possible question from Kardec. And he wraps up by asking, how can all of this be reconciled with the justice of God? Oh, very interesting. So we got several elements here before we get into the answer. So why? Why is there such a thing as forgetfulness of the past? Second, what is the benefit for the spirit? What do I gain? Third, it feels like the spirits are not using previous knowledge. And knowledge is something progressive. So how can we reconcile all of that? That's in short, that's the question. It's about, I can't reconcile. I'm having a hard time, better saying, reconciling this. So he goes to the spirits and asks the question, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna tell me about it? Well, the spirits give him a long answer. It's a long question, so it deserves a long answer. And after the answer, Allan Kardec puts his own comment on the spirit's book. So we're gonna go through this tonight slowly because there's a lot of little things in between the lines that need to be understood. So here's what the spirits answer. With each new existence, spirits gain more intelligence and can better distinguish between good and evil. This will be the same answer very far from this point, all the way up when Allan Kardec is asking about the progress. And the spirits are going to tell him there are two things, moral progress and intellectual progress. Then Allan Kardec is going to ask, which comes first? And the spirits will answer at that point. Intellectual progress comes first because it allows us to then make better choices, identify better between evil and good, and make better choices. So the intellectual progress has to come first. And if you see, this is exactly what they're saying here. I'm just going to repeat. Spirits, as they go along, spirits gain more intelligence and can better distinguish between good and evil. So you see, Allan Kardec is asking basically the same question, or at least he's getting the same answer in two different places. And there's full consistency, 100% consistent between the two spots where the answer shows up. So moral progress comes after intellectual progress, which allows me to then make better choices, understand what good is, understand what evil is, and make my choices better each time. And that will make me morally better. The answer continues. Where would actually, on the answer right here, the spirits place a question. Where would their merit be if they remembered their entire past? So they are ready to address the question that they put themselves up in the air. What would be the merit if the spirits knew absolutely everything about their past, their entire past? So they continue. When spirits enter their life of origin is the spirit life. So when spirits enter their spirit life, their entire previous life unfolds before them. That's becoming more interesting. So let's put these two things together. Coming back to the first, to the other question that they put in. Where would be their merit if they remembered their entire past? Think about when you go to school. Let's go by analogy here. Think about when you go to school. So we go to school, teacher is going to present, whatever subject through a bunch of sequential classes. And so there's going to be a point where you have to take a test or a quiz, if you will. In this quiz, or this test, can be done in two different ways. One way is an open book quiz, and the other is not open book. You're going to do it just live, and you're going to go through the questions, and you got to put the answers in there. And of course, they are different. In two ways, they're different. If you know ahead of time that this is going to be an open book quiz or test, it gives us a, a more relaxed state of mind. Meaning, oh, I'm gonna have the book that I can look up. I can maybe have a computer with a PDF file and I can search through. It's very easy, very fast. It gives us a degree of, I would say, easiness or a better state of mind in regards to the subject. If you know ahead of time, this is knowingly, it's not an open book quiz. It's more complicated. It's more difficult. We have the impression that automatically raises our responsibility towards the situation. So an open book test, quiz, and a live one are different. You see, the open book quiz makes it easier, of course, but it does not guarantee that we have learned the lesson. Because I can absolutely forget everything that was said in class. I can just go through my notes or through even somebody else's notes or the reference book used in school or by the teacher, and I can find my answers. But it does not at all guarantee that I've learned the lesson. That's the analogy. If you bring this to the situation that we are discussing, forgetfulness of the past, it's about the same. You see, we have to live this live quiz style live without knowing what's going to happen, without per se, without knowing that, oh, okay, I don't have to worry anything, I don't have to get any better, I don't have to make any effort because it's all preset for me. That's why forgetfulness of the past is the way it is. It is just better for us in terms of learning. The open book test is not as, I would say, I'm not going to say a better tool, but it's not as intense as the other type of quiz where you can't look into the book. And the spirits continue. The spirits, they see the wrongs they committed when they go to spirit life. So now you have the open book after you take the test. They see the wrongs they've committed and which are the cause of their suffering, as well as what would have kept them from committing them in the first place. So it's like you take the test, not an open book test. You take the test and you go home and you say, I wasn't sure about, this particular thing or those questions. Let me look into the book. So now we look into the book and you say, oh, I got this one wrong or I got this one right. And if the ones you got wrong, you're going to see exactly why you got them wrong. So you see, the whole thing here goes along the same lines. You have the ability to go on a life quiz, which will bring or force us, maybe the word is force, it's going to force us to learn the lesson faster. And that's the whole goal, learn lessons to be better, to become morally better. And then the spirits continue. The answer is long, like I said. They understand the justice, they is the spirits. They understand the justice of the position assigned to them. And they thus desire a new existence that can redeem the one that has elapsed. Okay, so I got home, I opened the book, and I see, oh, I got this particular answer wrong. And I expect the teacher to give me you know, to take the points away on that question. It is just justice, as they say here. I expect that. I'm not going to, you know, go against the book or go against the teacher because I got it wrong. And it's clear to my eyes now that I got it wrong. So it's a matter of understanding the justice. I'm going to be penalized in some form on that one question or questions that I got wrong. The spirits continue. They seek trials similar to those they have already experienced or struggles they believe will be appropriate for their advancement. So now I know what I got wrong, and for my next quiz, my next test, I know what I have to study more, and I expect to be tested on those things again until I get past once and for all, until I get all the answers right once and for all. Same thing here. So the spirits go back to spirit life. They see what they got wrong. They see why, and that explains their suffering. They will plan on a new experience, meaning a new incarnation, a new life, where they're going to address those things through new trials and new struggles. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. We are living in a place that is addressed for spirits undergoing trials and expiations. That's it, trials and expiations. So the spirits continue with the answer. They ask spirits who are of a higher order to help them in the new task that they are about to undertake. So meaning, now I'm going to prepare my new life with, new trials, new struggles to address my wrongs of the past, the wrongdoings of the past, and I'm going to ask for help when I'm preparing my new life. That help will come from higher order spirits, not spirits that are on our own level. Spirits that have achieved higher orders, they will be available to help us. So I'm going to go to these spirits. I'm going to say, I need help because I failed. No, I don't want to fail again. So I need help. And these spirits will be there for us. And it continues, for they know that the spirit, the higher order spirit, who will be given to them as their guide, that's our spirit guide, in that new existence, will endeavor to enable them to repair their wrongs of the past by giving them a sort of intuition about them. So the spirits who are going to be with us on the next lives to help us there, they will be providing us with intuition about the situations that I'm going to have to go through. So I don't make the same mistakes of the past. They will be there, as, of course, discarnate spirits, but they will be there with us, providing intuition and guidance. It continues. This same intuition is the thought, the wrongful desire, which frequently assaults you, and which you instinctively resist most of the time, attributing your resistance to the principles you have received from your parents. Meaning, sometimes we get these intuitions and we don't believe they are intuitions. We believe they are something else related to our early years on life, on this life. However, it is the voice of conscience speaking to you, and this voice is a memory of the past, a voice that warns you not to fall into the errors you committed previously. That's the intuition. This we put in quotes, inner voice telling ourselves, go that way, don't go this way, do this, don't do that, giving us support on our journey. In that new existence, if a spirit endures its trials with courage and resists them, it evolves and it will ascend in the spirit's hierarchy when it returns to be among them. So we go life after life, undergoing these trials and expiations, undertaking all these things that we have to resolve once and for all. As we go along in each life, when we go back in spirit life, if we were able to resist the trials, if we were able to do better than previously, yes, we will be a little bit better. So that will place us higher on the spirit hierarchy. And the whole purpose of this going, the whole purpose of the thing taking this route, is to one day have all these things automated in our perispirit. Think about this. This is what I mean by automated in our perispirit. Think about digestion. You eat something, okay, your digestive system is going to take care of that food. You don't have to stop for digestion to happen. You don't have to tell people, hey, stop, you can't talk to me right now because I'm digesting my food. There is no such a thing. Same for heartbeat. Same for the urinary system and so on. Same for breathing. All these things have been automated in our perispirit. When you first learn how to drive a car on the very first day, you're scared. You don't know what's going to happen. You kind of don't trust yourself. It's difficult. So on the first days when we are learning how to drive a vehicle, we don't want anybody talking to us. We don't want the radio playing any music. We don't want anything. We want just to, have our eyes steady state on the road and a tight grip on the wheel. It happens to all of us. And then when you learn how to drive and you have more experience, then you use only one of your hands on the wheel. It's not really tight. You're talking to somebody, the radio is playing, and you still answer your cell phone. How come? Because this has been automated. You don't have to stop everything anymore to drive your car with that, excessive need of attention. It's just automated to the point that sometimes you're doing your regular way, let's say from the house to your job, to your work or place of work. And then you get to your place of work and you say, oh, that's interesting. I don't remember passing that particular traffic light. But you did. And you didn't hit the car, thankfully, right? Because it's so automated that we don't have to put any conscious effort. This is the goal here, to be automated in such a way that doing the right thing all the time is no big deal anymore. That's Jesus, right? Can you imagine, for example, for us, for most of us, I'm not going to say you, but for most of us on the planet, if you want to do some charity work, we think about it before doing it. Okay, let me see how I'm going to do this thing. Oh, I could do this, I could do that. You see, we're planning on it, putting a strategy. We need to stop everything else to make that happen, if it even happens. So charity is not automated in our perispirit, not yet. You will be one day. So that's the thing. We need to go undertake all these trials and expiations through a sequence of lives until evil is completely out, and good is automated in our perispirit. And then Allan Kardec wraps up with his own comments, and he will say, if during our corporeal life we do not have a precise memory of what we were and of what good and evil we did in our previous lifetimes, we nevertheless have an intuition of them, right? If we don't have a memory of it, we nevertheless have an intuition of it. Hence, our instinctive tendencies are a reminiscence of our past. Instinctive tendencies are a reminiscence of our past, about which our conscience, which represents the desire we have conceived to no longer commit the same wrongs, warns us that we must resist. So you see, the idea of not committing the same wrongs that we use in Kardec's words, it will diminish. The commitment is going to increase as the wrongdoings, the wrongs diminish with time, because we will be better looking at what we just did intellectually. We are going to be able to make a better choice for next life and the next one, then in this all the sequence of lives that we'll have to go through. And then with these better choices, we are going to be happier. We're going to be on our way to perfection. And that's the whole goal. That's the whole goal. Be better. Be perfect. It's not easy, it takes time, but that's what it is. So I wanted to bring this idea of, a school in physical material life, a school in these quizzes that can be open book or not. And that will explain why forgetfulness of the past counts towards our own favor. It's in favor of us, it's not against us. It's our favor. I just want to thank Geraldo, who is hearing us here, is joining us from Brazil. So thank you, Geraldo. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. And with that, we close tonight's Spiritism Closer Look. And again, we had a closer look at forgetfulness of the past. If you have any comments, any questions, you can always go to Kardec Radio. If you want to request a subject for us to take a closer look at, please do so. You can always go to kardecradio.com. You can always go to our Facebook page, Spiritism Closer Look, and just let us know. We are all learning. Nobody's better than anybody here. It's all about understanding Spiritism, reflecting, and using all of that towards our own benefit. Thank you very much, guys, and we will be here next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks so much.